What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Guys, I know that it has been quite a while. It's been about a month and a half since I uploaded my last video. I do apologize that I have not been more on the ball. In the last video, I said I was going to be catching up on things, and really procrastination, life, and everything else in between got in the way. But I'm putting those days behind me. Yesterday was my 35th birthday. It also marked 5 years of YouTube. 5 years of Comic Breakdown putting out content, and we gotta get back to it. There's so many good comics coming out right now. There's so many fantastic storylines. I gotta get these stories back out to you guys. So I apologize for the delays, but if you guys stick with me, you hang around, I promise you, we're gonna be putting out some bangers. To kick all of it off, we're starting off with DC versus Vampires World War V. This is gonna be issues 6, 7, and 8. We had last left off with Mr. Miracle on the run with his child. A foretold prophecy makes him hunted. Both humans and vampires alike are looking for him. But this is nothing more than a side story as it stands, because war is about to begin. There was a momentary peace, but Oliver Queen, after seeing what the vampires had done, he throws the truce out the window. With war just on the horizon, the world gets an unsuspected visitor. DARKSEID has arrived. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Sorry, I had to be a little bit dramatic with that. It's been a while since I've let one of those out. Alright guys, here we go. Our story starts us off in Pennsylvania. Mr. Miracle had made his getaway. He was able to escape, but he doesn't get far. Getting to the water's edge, this is where he is met by the vampiric Aquaman. He had been sent here to hunt down the child, to bring the child back. But Aquaman is also seeking the throne. He's seeking power. He wants to be King Vampire. And Mr. Miracle, whatever this baby may or may not be, whatever the prophecy does foretell or doesn't foretell, Aquaman doesn't want to take the chance. And so he intends to kill both of them. But as he does prepare to do so, we have an arrival of the Wonder Twin, Jana arriving. She does what she can to interfere, taking on the form of water. Now this will make her formidable, but it doesn't make her enough to take on the ruler of the 7 seas. But as they find themselves almost at an impasse, we have the arrival of Black Manta, arriving on scene and absolutely shattering the Wonder Twin, even in the water form, ripping her apart. With the Wonder Twin defeated, they disappear into the sea with Mr. Miracle and the child. As we hop over to a safe house, we see Wally West, tethered, beaten, worn out, on the verge of death. The poor kid hasn't slept in months, but Oliver has bigger concerns right now. They are on the brink of war. Everyone's talking about preserving the peace that they have, but looking at Wally, Oliver knows that this means war, that there is no path back to peace. That was solidified when Oliver had blown up the factory, with Dino wanting to make peace somehow, some way. Oliver says that's not happening, that the council is going to vote, and he assumes that this vote is going to be for war. As they begin to wonder where John Constantine may be, this is when they have the arrival of the hooded individual, the one that has come kind of hinting at everything that has been going on. No one really knowing who this guy is, but he has come to let them know that John Constantine has died, not by his hand, but he knows that John is dead. Knowing things is what he does. He had made arrangements with John Constantine, an agreement that he's hoping the allies will honor, because he is looking for a child. He informs them that your enemies are also looking for this kid, that it would behoove you to find her first. This is when we have the arrival of Supergirl saying that that child is gone, that Aquaman took that child into the water, drowning the child and Mr. Miracle alive. The Wonder Twin trying to say that she tried to stop it, but Mira was wearing the Black Manta's armor, ripped her apart from the inside. There was nothing she could do but simply watch as that young infant infant was drowned down into the icy depths. Nothing she could do as she heard the screams of Mr. Miracle. This is when our mysterious man tells us that this is an unfortunate series of events, hoping that this time would not come to pass, because that child is not some miracle child of prophecy. At least not in the sense that you would see it. But he wasn't the only one looking for the kid. That if this child is dead, then all hope is lost. Our cloaked man taking off his hood and revealing himself to be Metron. And what you have to fear is already on the way. Taking us some time later, our armies march to war. What remains of the human resistance stands toe-to-toe, shoulder-to-shoulder, ready to fight against any vampiric monster that may come upon their way. And as they gaze, not far on the horizon, they see their enemy. They see the fallen heroes flying above, the vampiric monster once known as Shazam. As the world lays silent, the precipice of battle, we have the arrival of Supergirl, with Barbara Gordon leading the army of vampires. Supergirl flies to them, tries to reason with them, tries to let them know that it doesn't have to end like this, that the war doesn't have to happen at all. Of course, Batgirl wanting her to grovel. Supergirl will do no such thing, with Supergirl only giving a warning that anybody crossing the line, they will face Supergirl before anybody. The one to step forward and face her, Wonder Woman. As these two titans clash, this is when all hell breaks loose. Negotiations have come to a close. Grodd and Oliver Queen shouting out their war cries. The war has begun. As humans are decapitated, vampires bursting into flame. This is an all-out bloodbath. It almost seems like it's overwhelming, almost as if it's too much. The humans, they don't seem to be enough. This looks like a war that they just may lose. And while Barbara Gordon sits on the hilltop and observes the battle from above, a giant cracking boom comes in, and standing before her is none other than the ruler of Apocalypse. Darkseid himself has arrived, telling Barbara Gordon that you spoke to my emissary, Granny Goodness. He assumes that they've made arrangements to bring his grandchild to him. And while Barbara pleads that they're in the middle of a battle, they don't have time to worry about some child, Darkseid lets her know that your skirmishes, your feeble little fights, they mean nothing to me. All he cares about is his grandchild. This is when Aquaman steps forward and tells Darkseid, it's time for you to take a hike. That if you ever think about coming back, you should know the girl, the father, they both died by his hands. This is when Darkseid tells him that that's rather unfortunate, scoops up Aquaman and squishes him right in his freaking fist. That if his grandchild and Mr. Miracle are dead, there is nothing on this planet worth preserving. Burn it all. This is when the boom tubes open up and the Parademons flood the battlefields, and taking us to nowhere. We have John Constantine that is waking up, not sure what happened to him, thinking that Grodd killing him was simply a dream. But as he sees Dr. Fate, the Spectre, and the Question before him, they inform him that you are in fact dead, but your work has not finished yet. This is what will take us to issue number 7. We jump back onto the battlefield. With the Parademons flooding the battlefield, both humans and vampires, they find themselves back to back. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, but they are all coming to the conclusion that these Parademons, they're not on anybody's side. These guys are here to murder. These guys are here to conquer. Grodd and Jade, vampires fighting back to back. Jade tries to bite one of these Parademons to see if they can feed on him, but when Jade bites into it, her head freaking explodes. And Grodd learns very quickly that there is no feeding on the Parademons. The only thing they can do is crush them, kill them, destroy them. They are quickly finding out that they are being overrun. They try to make their fallback. The humans are already making their descent. And in all the chaos of the battlefield, Barbara Gordon finds herself alone. she finds herself alone and standing before Darkseid, telling her that he finds her running cowardice. But Barbara says all she was really doing is stalling. This is when we have the arrival of Wonder Woman, flying in and knocking Darkseid right in his face. Taking us over to the shelter, remaining humans are trying to escape. Everyone loaded up on buses and they're hightailing it out of here, with Zealot and Moth doing everything they can to hold off the Parademon forces so that everyone can get out of here. Things look like they're gonna go sideways, that it might be too late for all of them, until we have the arrival of Supergirl and Mary Marvel. They come in and they start taking out Parademons. This gives the humans just enough time to be able to get out of here, holding off the line long enough for the humans to make their escape. And as Wonder Woman fights against the ruler of Apocalypse, she gets in some heavy blows, but it would never be enough to take down Darkseid. He smashes her into the ground. He pummels her, he grabs her by the hair, he holds her in his hand. She tried using the lasso on him and he simply broke free of it, shattering it, and telling Granny Goodness that he wants this one alive to witness the death of Queen Gordon. As we pick up at the Secret Sanctuary, the last stronghold of humanity, everyone's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. This is when Metron begins to fill them in. He tells them that he is a traveler from the fourth world, a collector of knowledge, an observer. He had witnessed the Green Lanterns from their universe arrive in his own. They chose to fight in a war that had been raging for centuries, one that they had no side in. In doing so, they gained the attention of the forces of Apocalypse, made their presence known to Darkseid. He warns them that Darkseid is suffering personified, cruelty made flesh, death incarnate. This planet's fate had been sealed the moment he learned of its existence. That timeline was accelerated when the scouts sent to learn of the refugee who hides amongst them, Mr. Miracle, the adopted son of Darkseid. Spawning a child of his own, Darkseid came for his family, and he apologizes to them if he gave them the wrong impression, but he tells them that there is no winning this. There is no defeating Darkseid. This is over. Down in the depths of Atlantis, Mira is learning of Aquaman's death, learning of what had happened at the hands of Darkseid. But what we also learn is down in the depths of the water, Aquaman never actually killed Mr. Miracle, never actually killed the child. He kept them and he held them in Atlantis. And this will take us to issue number 8. Alright guys, so this issue is going to pick us up in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We pick up with Miss Martian, currently in the midst of battle side by side with the human resistance, transforming into her father's form. Miss Martian fights, and though she fights as hard as she can, she seems to be overrun. The Parademons, simply too much, too many of them, unable to find a way out of this. Telling Hotspot to do it, that there is no way out of this, that they will not be tormented, not changed, not put into a vampire, nothing, will not kneel to any god, so tells Hotspot to do it. And with that, the entire building explodes. The Parademons and Miss Martian along with it. This is what picks us up in the House of Mystery. Spectre, Fate, Constantine, the lot of them sitting here having a discussion. Now obviously, there is no way for them to interfere. The House of Mystery exists only in so much as it is maintained in the minds of those who believe it. Somehow, they have been burned from the memories of all who know of its existence. So this means they're essentially invisible. There's no way for anybody to see them, but if they were to reach out in any way, if anybody found out of its existence, it could be the end of the House of Mystery. They have become forgotten. They no longer exist. They are unable to affect anything, but they can see everything right outside their window. The whole world just beyond their grasp. They were able to pull John Constantine in, but that's only because he was in between worlds, dying and traveling in the in-between. They were able to grab hold of him and bring him here. He is very much dead, but this gives John Constantine an idea. As the House of Mystery transports itself directly to the battlefield, where we see the war raging on. Standing above this battle, we have Deadman. John Constantine Constantine, he knew that only the dead would be able to know about this place, would be able to see this place. What better person to communicate with than a man that is dead? A man that walks amongst the living. Taking us to the Hall of Justice, we have Darkseid. And while there are some that would try to join Darkseid's ranks, such as Cheetah, he cannot tolerate the existence of vampires. They are dead but not. They are a mockery to the very idea of anti-life. And so their very existence is something that he detests. Every breath he takes, he cannot stand being on this planet. But he was just given some information. If the Aquaman did bring his son's body to Atlantis, he wants this secret place found. An underwater civilization. Unsure how they might invade this place. Wonder Woman laughs because the only person that knew where the dead family may be had already been ripped in half by the hands of Darkseid, as Wonder Woman is set ablaze, laughing as she burns. Darkseid plans his invasion of Atlantis. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, Maryland, we take place in a broken down church, and we have Batman, which we learned is Ra's al Ghul. These innocents having nowhere else to run, they came here. They came to Batman for help, for a safe haven, as the Parademons come flooding in through all the windows. Batman uses everything in his arsenal to protect these people. Almost seeming like he might be overwhelmed himself, we have the arrival of Alfred Pennyworth, Green Lantern. Alfred is really here to convince Ra's al Ghul that you need to stop sitting on the fence, sitting on the sidelines, waiting for everything to pass over, especially if you're gonna wear that suit. If you truly believe that there's no heroes left in the world, then take that suit off. Don't be an imposter, because what that suit represents is hope, justice, vengeance. But as the two of them squabble, a young infant nearby begins to speaks to them, and this is Deadman, telling them that it comes with very pressing information, that the two of them need to stop squabbling and listen closely. Picking us up in Pennsylvania, in the city of Philly, we have Roy Harper, the Parademons attacking civilians, the civilians doing their best to hold their ground. He gets their attention. He hightails it on his bike, trying to get away, trying to move as fast as he can. But now he's thinking that maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe it might be actually too late for him. As Oliver is trying to find out his location and trying to save him, trying to get help to him in some way, shape, or form. The Parademons catching up to Roy, but just in the nick of time, we have the arrival of Cyborg. And Cyborg did not come alone. Cyborg, Superman, and a handful of other heroes. They have come and they have joined the battle. And as this battle goes on, Oliver Queen and everybody, they lose communication only momentarily. But when Arsenal comes back into communication, when Cyborg and them let them know what's going on, they let them know that they ran into somebody. And who they ran into is Barbara Gordon and Mother Flippin' Grodd, saying that they've had a discussion, they met some people from the past that Oliver's not going to be happy that they're bringing back. Metron showing up to Oliver Queen, letting Oliver know that maybe we can help. Metron discussing about joining a fight, but not just him. He brought his whole family. As a portal opens up, Metron introduces the new gods. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely not a bad issue, not bad 3 issues. The war raging on, Darkseid arriving, absolutely dominating the battlefield, squashing Aquaman, taking down Wonder Woman, backhanding anybody that gets in his way. Now, all hope definitely seemed lost for humans and the vampires. Obviously, their only choice was to join forces in the hope of taking down Darkseid, but even that wouldn't be enough because many of them are vampires, which means their superhuman abilities were kind of depowered. At least some of the more powerful ones, like Wonder Woman and things of that nature. Having the vampirism in their body takes away from their natural ability or natural powers or whatever powers they have, wherever they harness those powers from. This doesn't apply to every hero, but we see it applying to some of the more powerful heroes. That taking vampirism on came with some additional weaknesses. But this battle battle is about to turn. They could see Darkseid simply leaving the planet now that we learn that Mr. Miracle and the child are alive. But after everything he has seen about the vampires, he may not just decide to go. But all hope is not lost, with Metron bringing in the new gods. The last line of defense for all of humanity. The war against extinction is about to begin. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on with DC versus vampires, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and sharing it around for me. All of that helps me out tremendously, helps kick the algorithm up, so I greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, until the next breakdown.